Nightmare Night 5, Ghost Pony's Pirate Adventure, Chapter 1, A Spooky Start. The moon hung high in the sky as Nightmare Night kicked off in Ponyville, casting long shadows across the streets. Ghost Pony adjusted his pirate hat, pulling the brim down just above his eyes. He wore a rugged, dark coat with silver buttons and a sash that draped over his shoulder. A plastic sword hung at his side, and a fake parrot sat perched on his shoulder, completing the look. Princess Kincaid, in her mad scientist get-up, gave him an amused glance. "Ah, Captain Ghost Pony," she teased, adjusting her oversized goggles and holding up a glowing vial. "I see you're ready to plunder the candy seas." Ghost Pony grinned, flashing his sharp teeth. "Aye, and ye best be ready for adventure, lass." He gave a mock salute. "What's yer experiment tonight, oh mad scientist?" Kincaid twirled her lab coat, the many pockets full of odd gadgets and strange beakers. "Tonight? Oh, just concocting a potion that turns candy into more candy," she winked. At their feet, their children ran circles around them, giddy with excitement. "Look at me, Dad!" Jack Farmer, dressed as Oliver the cat from the famous story, leaped in front of him, pretending to swipe with his paws. "I'm a sneaky cat. No candy safe from me," Ghost Pony chuckled. "Aye, matey. If ye get any faster, I might just make ye part of my pirate crew." Stephanie W. Kincaid ran over, proudly showing off her Bluey costume, wagging her pretend tail. "I'm Bluey! Woof woof!" she barked playfully. "And I'm Bingo!" Danny Farmer added, her bingo costume mirroring her sister's, but smaller. She hopped up and down with excitement, her blue ears flopping with each bounce. Ghost Pony couldn't help but smile at his kid's enthusiasm. "Looks like we've got quite the crew tonight," he said, glancing at Princess Kincaid. "You ready to sail off for some tricks and treats?" Kincaid smirked. "Oh, I've got my gadgets all packed! Lead the way, Captain!" Chapter 2. The Candy Hunt. The family made their way through the busy streets of Ponyville, which were decorated in cobwebs, glowing pumpkins, and spooky lanterns. Other ponies in elaborate costumes crowded the square, laughing and shouting as they went from house to house, collecting candy. "Trick or treat!" Jack called, rushing to a door alongside his sisters. His little paws clutched his candy bucket as the door opened, revealing a friendly pony who dropped several sweets into his stash. Ghost Pony stood back with Princess Kincaid, watching their kids gleefully gather their treasures. "Ah, seems like they're making quite the haul," he said, resting his hoof on the hilt of his toy sword. "They'll be sugar-fueled pirates by the end of the night," Kincaid laughed, adjusting her goggles. Just then, Ghost Pony spotted a group of older colts heading toward a haunted house attraction nearby, his pirate spirit stirred. "What do ye say, Kincaid? Fancy a little ghost hunting?" Princess Kincaid raised an eyebrow. "A pirate and a mad scientist teaming up for some ghost hunting? Now that's an experiment I'm willing to test." Chapter 3. The Haunted House. The haunted house loomed ahead, creaking with every gust of wind. A sign out front read, "Enter if ye dare!" Ghost Pony couldn't resist. "This place looks like the perfect spot for a pirate to raid, don't ye think?" Kincaid pushed her goggles back over her eyes. "Lead the way, Captain. I've got just the invention if we run into anything too spooky." The children huddled close as they approached the entrance. Jack, still holding onto his cat ears, whispered, "Do we have to go in? It looks really scary." Stephanie and Danny, though dressed as the brave Bluey and Bingo, glanced nervously at the flickering lights inside. Ghost Pony knelt down. "Listen here, me crew. There be no treasure without a little adventure, but if it gets too spooky, we can turn back." Stephanie straightened her Bluey costume. "I'm not scared. Bluey is always brave." Danny nodded beside her. "Me too." With that, they all stepped inside. The floorboards creaked beneath their hooves as they navigated the dark hallways. Fake cobwebs hung from the ceiling, and eerie whispers echoed from every corner. Ghost Pony led the way, holding his sword in one hoof like a true pirate captain. "Stay close, mates. There could be treasure just around the bend." Suddenly, a figure jumped out from behind a curtain, letting out a loud howl. It was a pony dressed as a ghost, meant to scare visitors. But Ghost Pony didn't flinch. You'll have to do better than that just to scare a pirate captain," Jack, clutching his candy bucket, squealed in excitement. "You're so brave, Dad." The Ghost Pony laughed, giving them a wink. Happy Nightmare Night, Chapter 4, Pirates and Mad Scientists. As they continued through the haunted house, Ghost Pony, kept his pirate bravado alive. He swung his sword at fake skeletons and solved puzzles that opened secret passages. Princess Kincaid used her scientific gadgets, a mix of beeping toys and lights, to analyze the mysterious objects they found. According to my calculations, she said with a grin, we're getting closer to the candy treasure. The kids were fully immersed in the adventure. Stephanie and Danny imagined themselves as Bluey and Bingo on a spooky quest, while Jack played the role of their loyal cat companion. Finally, they reached the end of the haunted house, where a large treasure chest sat waiting. Ghost Pony pointed his sword toward it dramatically. There it be, mates! The treasure of Nightmare Night! Jack gasped. Are we really going to get treasure? Kincaid smirked. Only one way to find out. With great ceremony, Ghost Pony opened the chest. Inside were piles of candy and golden chocolate coins. The children's eyes widened with delight. Best haul of the night! Ghost Pony exclaimed, handing out the candy to each of them. A pirate's reward for a brave crew. Chapter 5. A Night to Remember. As the night drew to a close, Ghost Pony, Princess Kincaid, and their children made their way back home. The kids were tired but happy, their candy buckets filled to the brim. I can't believe we found real treasure, Jack yawned, curling up in his Oliver the Cat costume. Best nightmare night ever! Stephanie chimed in, her bluey tail wagging as she walked. Danny agreed sleepily, her Bingo costume slightly askew. Yeah, best ever! Ghost Pony, his pirate hat tilted at a jaunty angle, put his hoof around Kincaid's shoulders. Not bad for a bunch of pirates and mad scientists, eh? Kincaid smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. Next year, I'm thinking time travelers, but for now, I think we've earned some sleep. Ghost Pony grinned. Aye, but the night's still young, lass. There be more adventures waiting for us tomorrow. With a final glance at the starry sky, they headed home, ready for sweet dreams filled with pirates, mad scientists, and all the magic of Nightmare Night. The end.